Ladies and gentlemen, this week, episode 21 of the Circle Debate podcast, as we're going to discuss about, our thoughts about the reveal of Retribution and the Rey Mysterio storyline now with a daughter. And also, we'll talk about pro wrestling news. COVID-19 spreading everywhere on both organizations, on AEW and WWE. What's going on? Also, what's up with that? We also have a WWE a legend and a current AEW star who just opened up his wrestling school academy. And also, Arn Anderson give his modern top four, his modern four horsemen. I wonder who he mentioned. And also, we have CM Punk giving his thoughts about Retribution. And as well, we have ROH Ring of Honor Pure, the Pure Title Tournament update. Also, we have in New Japan, also the update from day 1 to day 4. And we also have NXT, this past week's NXT, who won the Battle Royal for the number one contention for the NXT Women's Championship. And who won the gauntlet to face Finn Balor at TakeOver. And also, we discussed about AEW Dynamite. The return of the Prince of Wrestling. Well, we'll find out. Stay tuned as episode 21 starts right now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Circle of the Debate podcast, episode number 21. 21. This is your host, the devious one, Ivan C. Alongside with the beaters, the Seidels, the Murphys, the Cardonas, the Steamboats, the Kellermans. He's all over he is the Matt's world, which is Mr. MGC, Matthew Steamboat. And I don't know what the hell he's doing, ladies and gentlemen. Just keep an eye on what he's doing. And also we have the hero of all heroes. He is the man with the 12-inch pythons. He is the one that takes his vitamins and drinks his beers and his milk as well. He is also the man who gives you the finger and gives you the no, and what you're going to do when the great American hero, Mike, you.
I wish I could just go into the ring when Retribution is there and just say that, no, thank you, bye.
There you go. The quarters are turned, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it right from Mr. Mike Lopez.
Now, you heard it here first.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and start this off. Oh man, what a week of wrestling. It was a lot of week of pro wrestling. All organizations, and Jesus, but the one that really killed my fucking mood was when we saw the reveal of obviously Retribution on Raw. So we're gonna go ahead and discuss that, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have we already confirmed that it was Dijakovic, Dio Madden, Shane Thorne, Mia Yim, Mercedes Martinez, and now they came with different names. Now we have Dijakovic as T-Bar. We have Dio Madden as Mace. Slapjack? I think that looks like Shane Thorne. I can't got a question that one. But no names yet for Mia Yim and Mercedes Martinez as of yet. Oh my God, was this a slip knot of fucking pro wrestling or what the hell's going on? So I want to go ahead and ask you, Mr. Hero, what were your thoughts about the names and the reveal of Retribution?
I have not been so disinterested in a faction in so long. I have not looked up their names. I could care less about their costumes. It's just not interesting to me. I wanted something different. It's just anything else. They should have brought back the Nexus, but just this Retribution group, there's something about it that almost seems comical to me not in a good way. Whoever, I don't even, Bane guy was he was, as serious as he wanted to be on the microphone. I could not take him seriously at all. Nothing. and the makeup looks silly, the masks look silly, the whole concept is silly. I don't know if they've appeared on SmackDown or if they're Raw exclusive.
They're Raw exclusive.
It's just if you're being rebellious and you're being retribution, you're gonna be all over the place. You're gonna be in NXT, SmackDown, Raw, and not care. So it's just by that is just, and you give them contracts, Vinnie Mac. What? No. It's not a good storyline. My goodness, down. Mm-mm.
I think somebody else said this for me already. Brian Zane, if you're watching, I'm somewhat stealing this from you. This is basically WWE's Dark Order, but except like darker mask and heavier guitars, but but less interesting.
Exactly right. It's so less interesting and
WWE's Dark Order.
What the hell is wrong with fucking Vince? Bruce, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Really, with the Bane mask, with wannabe Slipknot version, maybe Dark Order, how Mr. Steamboat said, what the hell is wrong with you guys? Why?
What's up with that?
What's up with that? Like and then
Even Shane Helms is like, what the hell?
Mia Yim. Come on, we all know it's Mia. You fucking give her a different name, you're stupid as fuck. And it's also the same with Mercedes. If you get, oh my god, this is the most ridiculous shit that could ever done. I wish the kids had just be themselves. That would have been more sensible. If they were themselves, not wearing these masks, it doesn't make any sense for them to wear any mask. It's out of their own character because they already had a character built in the NXT, in NXT, and who they're known from. And now you're bringing them to the main roster and trying to change their gimmick. That's the most stupidest decision. Whoever's idea was the most stupidest decision you ever made, and creative. And I know, I'm pretty sure Jim Cornette was pissed the fuck off too, and so am I. I'm so pissed off. And I'm done with him. I'm done with that segment. I don't even want to see it. Don't. Oh my god, it's just horrible. Speaking of horrible, let's jump up to the other one now. Why are you trying to bring another relive a moment about really? Oh wait, but she is not your daughter, Rey Mysterio. Really? Why the fuck are you bringing another storyline? This is where you're losing out of touch. You're losing touch. That's why, Vinny, Bruce, call us because we can write. We can write for you. We'll write for you, not fight for you.
Might as well just hold up a banana. I'm gonna hold up a banana phone. You call my banana phone, Vinny. Call my banana phone.
You gotta call us, Vinny, because this is ridiculous. You're reliving a story, another one, of Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio feud, and now you're reliving it with Seth Rollins, and now you're using the daughter, Aaliyah, as stepchild. She's only 19. She doesn't know any better. Like, she's naive and walks away and all this. I'm gonna ask you, Mr. Hero, what the hell are your thoughts about that segment and why are they bringing this shit back? How do you feel about it?
Oh, sure. You could have Dominic getting hit by kendo sticks all the long living day, and Aaliyah says a few words, and she doesn't know any better, and it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't really make sense to me. And really, come on, Rey Mysterio, you're not gonna have your house in order here, and have two illegitimate children. It's just bad storytelling. I don't think that this is gonna go anywhere. They had Murphy approach the daughter in a backstage segment. You really want me to believe that she's gonna side with Murphy, and if she does, that it's actually gonna work? It just. Okay. Let me compose myself here because there's just a lot of missteps going on with WWE, and it goes beyond one storyline. I feel that the whole structure is just upside down, I feel. And you know what? If we get anything from the AEW WWE rivalry, I hope it's Vince's retirement. I hope, and I got nothing against Vinnie Mac. The guy's a billionaire, and we would not be here if it wasn't for him. But there comes a time, and the company that I grew up watching 20 plus years now, to see this sort of thing going on is just no. There needs to be a change, and I feel that. And I know we're going to talk about AEW in a bit, but I feel AEW is doing things right, and that is going to cause change in the WWE.
Definitely. Mr. Steamboat, your thoughts about this storyline? No thoughts.
What?
There you go.
That's it. That's all you get. What?
That's all you're getting with that. It's a shame that obviously this is going down, especially on the Raw. Obviously, the viewership did not, for them, the reveal, the viewership did not help, obviously, at all. And it's these type of storylines is not going nowhere. Raw creative, I don't know what's going on. You guys need to step it up. Vince, you need to hang your boots and let Paul Levesque, let Triple H take over, because the shit that you're doing is not working, buddy. Not working for your viewers. It's not working for. I mean, if it's working for your shareholders, for your investors, tell your investors they need to start watching more pro wrestling and go back to the Attitude Era, go back to the golden era, 80 eras. Go back to those times and watch AEW, watch other promotions to get an idea of what you want to do, because that really it's ridiculous. It's not gonna go nowhere. So I'm going to quote a fucking Meltzer. I'm going to quote him a negative 10 stars, not 5, negative 10 of all this fucking bullshit. It's ridiculous. And I don't like it at all. But let's go ahead and move on with that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and move on with pro wrestling news. Obviously, WWE and AEW had an outbreak of COVID-19, testers. Testing positive. All from WWE in the Performance Center, we had a trainee, a performance enhancement coach that tested positive for COVID-19, and so classes were canceled. And the same with AEW when they were doing their AEW Dark tapings and for Dynamite tapings. A lot of majority of stars were also tested positive or got in contact with a person who tested positive. So a lot of changes happened, and then also a lot of changes happened in NXT as well, because of the outrage of the outbreak that has been occurring. But as we know for WWE, they're still continue doing their testing, and they're safely monitoring. I'm quoting that because it's a big iffy for them, because I hate to say it, AEW is doing a better job compared to than WWE is when it comes to the COVID-19 testing. I hate to say it, they look legit more on paper than WWE, and that's a bad sign. And so a lot of obviously performers are concerned. Some are okay with, are fine. Wearing they're doing the protocols. So I'm going to ask you just here right quick on this topic. Now, should WWE enforce better testing than what AEW has? And obviously AEW played it safe, sent everybody home who tested positive and whoever came across. So the one who's looking bad here is WWE. So obviously, I think we discussed about it before in the previous archives, which don't forget on the channel, click on the subscribe. So should WWE really enforce better to testing for the COVID-19?
Yes. There's only one answer. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's not like they're bleeding money right now, which maybe they might be. I don't know. But they have the money. They have the ability to make things safe for their employees, Right. They're nothing without the wrestlers. They're nothing without the talent, without the ring crew, everybody backstage. Number one priority has to be safety for them. Mm-hmm. And if they can't do that, then they're doing things wrong.
Absolutely. Agreed. Steamboat?
I gotta say, it's like with the cash they got, I'm just gonna keep pushing this idea. All your talent that doesn't have families that they have to see regularly, just put everybody on an island where the population isn't always going back and forth. Like if you got a young single wrestler, just put them on an island. Put everybody on an island so less infections for everybody. Go to Hawaii, find one of the small islands.
Or how Mike said before in the archives, he said go to Dabi. Just go there, the hell with Fight Island, buy a freaking island over there. Vince got the money
which the UFC is going back again.
Yep.
Second time already.
Yep.
There you go.
I don't care. Underwater in Siberia, just away from where there's a lot
Underwater.
Of,
that's what I want to see.
Yeah, we'll do an underwater city. Do it underwater. Do it in a submarine, just somewhere away from. Like,
or even on a naval ship. Like while you're
do it on
like
Mount,
a cruise, like a German cruise, but a naval ship,
Yeah, put it on an oil rig, oil tanker.
You see,
go to Mount Everest.
You see the ideas that we have, fresh ideas that we have for you.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Call my telefono plantano.
Sí, ahí está.
Sí. Oui, monsieur.
Yeah, go to Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Everest, do it on Mount Rushmore. Do it right next to Yellowstone. I don't know.
Anything, right? Anything.
Go to Mongolia. Go to.
Oh my God! Even Mongolia, or even even go to Norway or Iceland. Like damn, like they're fine, But anything.
You guys already went to Saudi Arabia. Might as well go.
Right.
Antarctica.
Wow. Or Alaska at least something.
You know what's colder? Like the stare in my eyes. It's like it's like that thing from like Sting versus Vader. It's like, this ice palace reminds me of your attitude, Vader. Cold.
All right, moving on with that. So in a recent episode on the Art Anderson podcast, that is hosted by Conrad Thompson, Conrad asked Art Anderson, so who's your modern day Four Horsemen? And so this is his modern day Four Horsemen that he mentioned. And so I want to get you guys' opinion about it, if you feel that he's right or not. So he mentioned his modern day Four Horsemen now, currently, which is FTR, Cody Rhodes, and Luke Harper. He mentioned them four as his modern day Four Horsemen. And very interesting. It got me intrigued because obviously FTR reminds him of him and, Tully Blanchard, it reminded of him. Cody reminds him, obviously, Ric Flair. And, Harper reminds him of Wyndham. So, it makes kind of sense. But, before I answer myself, my apologies, I'll go ahead and ask you, Mr. Steamboat, you agree with those modern-day Four Horsemen that you picked? Do you agree with it, or you don't?
It's like most of them, because Cody's always been presenting himself as a very, rich, regal, fancy, He's been like, the nice suits and all that. So it's in there. Now it's kind of like Cody and Nick Aldis are kind of neck and neck with the whole fancy suit champion type of like carrying themselves type of thing. So yeah, those are interchangeable more or less. I don't know who their JJ Dillon is yet.
Well, it will be him, obviously. Like let's say if it would have done it now, it would have been him.
Yeah, and then it's like Cody's Rick, and then of course FTR, Arn and Tully. That's like the who they idolize. The fourth one, it's a toss up, because Four Horsemen's had so many different iterations.
Yeah, but let's say, doesn't Luke Harper remind you of Barry Windham?
I've seen Barry Windham. He's a little bit more like cowboyish, so it could go either way.
But do you agree with Luke Harper being in that in that list? Do you agree with that?
If Luke Harper was more of a cowboy and had blonde hair, but not as much.
So you wouldn't have him in the list, and you wouldn't have you wouldn't have him at the fourth member as a modern day.
No, somebody who's more of a cowboy.
Name one example. Who you put?
James Storm, maybe.
Okay.
There's your cowboy.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hero. What are your thoughts?
I disagree right off the bat with Brody Lee. I actually think, honestly, the first name that came into my mind in that role was Jake Hager, or obviously like Hangman Adam Page.
Hangman too. Yeah.
How ironic I feel that for Arn, the Ric Flair of his group is Dusty Rhodes' son. Kind of their rivalry and whatnot, and he's kind of the opposite of his father there in that sense. But yeah, I like, obviously FTR fits in well. Cody fits in well. I do disagree with, like I said earlier, about the Brody Lee part. Or maybe if he trimmed his beard, I guess. I don't know. I guess I see the Four Horsemen more like cleaner, I guess. I don't know. But, no offense to his beard. I'm kind of growing one myself.
Brody Lee isn't a cowboy.
Yeah. I mean, but close. Yeah, sure. Why not?
So you'll put Adam Page instead of Brody Lee.
Instead of Brody Lee, yeah.
I'm with you with that. I agree with you 100% with that. Brody Lee, Luke Harper, I mean, whatever his name, it doesn't matter. But I don't know. Hey, yeah, you're right. It doesn't fit. Like, Brody is more of a dark side person, obviously, like with the Dark Order. Does not fit for him to be like that, Dark Order. But it doesn't fit with him with that Four Horsemen. It doesn't. I do agree with the three that he said. Obviously, FTR and Cody. That doesn't make sense. But they are your modern day Four Horsemen, different style. You know, I would add definitely Adam Page to that. Definitely Adam Page. Do we have anybody else I could think of? Shit. In AEW, I think he'll be the only one. In WWE, shit. There isn't actually nobody in WWE actually either. Nobody. Not that I know in WWE. Nobody. In the NWA, no. Actually, no, you know what? I actually would put Nick Aldis. I'll put Nick Aldis in NWA because he has that class. I like how he's really representing NWA, 10 pounds of gold, suited up. Nick Aldis
Cody
fits.
and Aldis are interchangeable.
Yeah. I mean, I would put Nick Aldis too. Why not? I mean, James Storm, nah, he's a drunk. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. But all right, moving on with that, ladies and gentlemen. And also, let's go ahead and move on with the CM Punk comments about Retribution. Obviously, we already bashed him. He has already bashed him worse. So CM Punk's comment on social media, on Twitter, that he put, when you're bored in catering and there's abundance of paper plates. Like, he was clowning on Slapjack. like there's so many paper plates in catering. Might as well, there you go, you're creating a fucking mask. And obviously, Dijakovic responded. He replied to CM Punk saying, you mock my brother Slapjack because you're a coward like every current and former WWE superstar. You tease leading Retribution, but we will not follow you to failure like your new Nexus. We will destroy this place piece by piece, including you if you ever show up. Obviously, Punk did not reply. Have not seen any no reply from CM Punk. So, Mr. Hero, your thoughts about this little mini, this mini little feud right here between CM Punk and Dijakovic?
I'm pretty sure Dijakovic wanted a reaction from CM Punk, but the reaction that CM Punk had already initially is enough. What else is there to say? It's just not a good angle. It's just not a good looking group at all. The masks and whatnot. CM Punk is known for the straight edge society, the new Nexus, and both of those, in my opinion, are better than what we got with Retribution.
I agree, 100%. I agree. Mr. Steamboat's your thoughts about CM Punk's comments?
He doesn't want the feud, but he wants the feud. I mean, we've been worked a few times before, but I'll say this: like, when it comes to like WWE copying other organizations' factions, I mean, like, not exactly because like DX was kind of like a natural thing, but at the same time, they're like, okay, we could have our own version of the NWO, and now it's like this is our own version of Dark Order. Like we said earlier.
Who's gonna be the exalted one then?
No,
that ain't CM Punk. I'll tell you that. It's not CM Punk.
I'm gonna laugh if CM Punk makes it so obvious. Like, I dissed them, but you didn't expect it was me. Or we kind of did.
As long as we get backstage segments like the Dark Order and being the Elite.
Oh
man, that I just started watching that, and oh my goodness,
it'll be CM Punk wearing a white hood, and he's gonna be like, "It's like you guys didn't get me those fat-free donuts. I eat clean. I only eat clean food, organic food." It'll be him yelling at them to bring him organic food and all this other stuff.
Imagine that.
It's gonna be videos. Just they gotta sink even lower. It's like AEW guys lower the bar. They'll be like fake punching like the air like a foot away from their head. Like they'll be doing this instead. Like Retribution. Retribution.
Moving on with that, ladies and gentlemen. So then also we have another WWE and AEW feud, which is obviously we're having Cody Rhodes just recently been fighting with the trademarks for his father's creation for Slamboree, Match Beyond. He's even fighting for the Rhodes last name for quite some time and still continuing. And also he's trying to fight for the Prince of Wrestling. And obviously WWE, they've responded back and they filed, trademark against it. So it's really sad that Cody cannot have his last name, but Dustin is able to. And so it's unfortunate that this is going. I understand that that his father did create Bash at the Beach. He created Slamboree, Beyond Match Beyond, War Games, everything else. But remind you that WWE purchased WCW 2001. They bought all the rights for all those names. So it's difficult for Cody to get all those names. I mean, I would give him Prince of Wrestling. Let him have it. Who cares? Who is in WWE named as Prince of Wrestling? Not Finn Balor. He's not saying it. He's saying only the Prince. But that's it. But I mean, and what about Rhodes? Okay, I get it that it was it's the Rhodes gimmick, but just give it to him. Dustin has it. Why not give it to Cody? So I mean,
the whole family's out.
Yeah. Well, it's only him. Dustin has it. It's just that he's not. Brandy's able to. She has her last name, but not Cody. That's a problem. He can't use it because they really got him big time. So I mean, Mr. Hero, your thoughts about this? This debacle. I mean, should WWE give those two at least, the Rhodes and the Prince of Wrestling, to Cody, or what are your thoughts about this trademarking?
I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of the contracts, but it almost seems kind of petty to keep them just for nothing, just to keep them away from Cody. What I don't know is because I think Cody, his real last name is Runnels, right?
I believe so. Yes.
So if he would legally change his name to Rhodes, would he be able to then use it?
Well, not too late now. If he would have done it before, then perfect. It's like Steve Austin. He legally changed his name to Steve Austin instead of Steve Williams. Because remember, I'm sorry, originally it was Steve Williams. That was his real name. But he changed his last name from Williams to Austin. So now it's Steve Austin. So now he has that, that trade. And
because of Dr. Death Steve Williams, and that was his name in
in WCW, New Japan, All Japan. But in like the Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He has an agreement with him though. So it's like there's an agreement on that with Vince, and plus Vince owes The Rock a favor as well. And I think that's probably what it is, obviously. And I think because Cody left in bad terms with them, and I think that's what it was. I think after he left, he kind of talked a lot of shit that Hunter was not proud of. Or I think the one behind it is really Paul Levesque, in my opinion. I don't think it's Vince. I think it's Paul Levesque is the one that's holding everything back. But screw you. You want to talk all this shit about me? Then screw you, like type of shit. I'm here, kicking the ass.
See, but I think that in those moments where you're kind of put in a corner, that those can be the times where you can be the most creative and look for new things to do. And sure, it would be great to have Starrcade or Slamboree or Halloween Havoc. It would be great to have those names that have history and prestige behind them. But at the same time, AEW is a new company, and you could create new stuff, more modern concepts. And I think that's what they're going for, which is great. And really, that's how they should keep going. Yeah. Meanwhile, right?
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Like how they did, which they haven't done it yet, with Blood and Guts. When they were supposed to do that, I mean, that was a great concept.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, instead of War Games, obviously you can't use War Games with Blood and Guts right there. Blood and Guts,
It's more brutal. Like they got somebody's blade, and
I mean, there's so many he could use. Rage in the Cage, but I think WWE owns that. Rage in the Cage, but there's so many creative ideas of how to create pay-per-view names.
That brings me to this. If you guys see this background behind me. So you talked about Rage in the Cage. If we forgot, AEW's partnered with AAA, Lucha Libre. So behind me, this is actually the steel cage that AAA uses.
Yes.
This is the Domo de la Muerte.
Domo de la Muerte, sí.
Yeah. So, and I think this would be cool to use instead of Hell in a Cell. This would be like their equivalent, and
or even like
have
their
great one-on-one feuds.
Yeah, or even like their not an elimination chamber, but I would say like how have that type of cage with one person at a time. Like how they did the casino battle royale.
Yeah,
they could do the same thing for the cage like that. Have one by one coming in. That'd be another 20 calls.
And I think the thing I like about I think there was another one, World War III. It's kind of like it's like battle royale, but it's got 2 rings.
Yeah.
So.
But WWE has that one too, no?
Yeah, it's a shame.
But they don't. Yeah, but they use the 2 rings for war games, but they own that. So also they own World War because everything WCW is it's WWE. So I don't see anytime soon this is going to continue on until someone gives up, and I think it's gonna be obviously Cody's going to have to give up, but I will not give up the Prince of Wrestling or the Rhodes last name. I will keep on fighting it until they come to an agreement. At least it's something, they have to come to some sort of agreement, and hopefully he does, because it does fit for Cody, the Prince of Wrestling. It does fit for him, so I love that. So, all right, moving on with that. Also, speaking of the Rhodes family, so now let's go ahead and congratulate Dustin Rhodes as he is opening up his own already pro wrestling academy, starting, I believe, by the end of this year, and taking applications already in. He is opening it up in Leandro, Texas. Excuse me. That's where he lives in the state of Texas. So, Dustin is opening up his wrestling academy. Congratulations, and I believe he deserves it because the man for his age still got it, and he performs like since when he first came in as Goldust in WWF, not EF, but he's performing like that but better and looking like in great shape. And whoever's going to sign up for his school, for his academy, I would suggest to, because he's the one giving hands-on training for now. He's the only one until we'll find out who's he gonna hire as his other coaches. But congratulations, Mr. Dustin Rhodes. And do you see any of I'll ask you, Mr. Hero, do you see any future for Dustin's school wrestling academy, and maybe he could with his in-ring skills, abilities, could train a perfect future superstar in the long run for AEW? Do you agree, or how do you feel about it?
Oh, 100%. Goldust has decades of experience, knowledge of the business. You can definitely go in there and learn a lot. I haven't even seen what the curriculum is or anything like that.
Yeah, me neither. He's barely just starting in it.
But with a name like that, it goes to show that you're going to go in there and you're going to get top-notch training. I know that definitely whoever the stars of the class are going to be are probably going to end up in AEW, and that's the great. It'll be kind of like a power plant, for them, or the performance center for WWE and stuff like that in comparison. Right. So yeah, I look forward to seeing and just to seeing what names come out from there. And 20 years from now, we're going to look back and say, hey, this guy started off at Dustin Rhodes' academy, and much like how we heard about Daniel Bryan and Shawn Michaels' school and all that good stuff. So definitely, I can see a lot of potential there. And if I was 18, I would have signed up myself,
Oh yeah, we would have been moving to Texas right now. We were 18.
You bet.
But, young lions.
Exactly.
Lions.
But
I would have been Mike's manager. Man, come on, baby, let's go, baby. Go ahead and do it, baby. Let's go, Great American Hero, man. It's Jimmy Hart. So.
Jimmy Hart. Oh, absolutely.
I gotta say, there's a reason why Dustin's called the Natural. Just because when he got in the ring, they said he was like a natural, and then all those decades. That long career period, like I think that's one thing. I'm a little bit ashamed of ourselves that I'm ashamed of myself for not putting him on my top 5 for people that should have been world champion.
Mhm.
Dustin, but I mean, he's still wrestling, so who knows? We could still see it happen.
That's right. Definitely. You
we love you,
never
Dustin.
know. You never
Yeah.
know. You heard it here first.
You're here first.
You know what? I would have loved, and they can still do it right now with the relationship they have with NWA. Give Dustin that belt in the memory of his father, of Dusty, holding that NWA champion.
He was there for the territories too.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
there. Yeah, but imagine Dustin winning the NWA champion. I mean, Cody did it.
More
but
prestige.
Yeah, it would be more prestige because the Rhodes family won it all. And oh my God, that'll be
It would be a great feud for Aldis and Dustin.
Yes.
And Cody could be mixed in there, and then you could tell so much story. You could use stock footage of Dusty. You could use so much,
absolutely. And I think that will fulfill.
It would only add more prestige to the belt.
But I think that would fulfill Dustin's legacy from there.
Yeah.
I think that would end his career.
The best
To end it, his career is to win that NWA champion in memory of his fucking father. Hell yes.
That would be a better.
Why Vince hasn't called you is beyond me.
I don't know why.
Well,
Tony Khan,
in Vince's hand.
Billy Corgan, call me. We could be.
Billy Corgan's here in SoCal. Let's knock on his door and tell him about it. Let's visit him at Sumerian
Billy,
Records.
I know you're in there.
Billy, there you go.
Ash Appleson, Billy Corgan. If you guys are over there at Sumerian Records, we got an idea for you guys.
Exactly. We had plenty of ideas.
This is better for Dustin than I think that belt would look better on Dustin than the AEW World Title.
I mean, you know what? I agree. I'm with you on that because, like I said once again, because it makes more sense for him to win the NWA because for the legacy of the belt and from his fathers. AEW is more like. Should be Cody's side because obviously we believe that Cody's.
It's younger people. It's newer people.
Yeah, it's a developmental and it's a new modern day pro wrestling, the new era of pro wrestling that should be different. Should be held, by Cody and not Dustin. You never know. But
NWA is the heritage. That's one of the oldest belts in the world.
And remind you that he's his first generation. So him being a first generation, why not? Hell not. Him winning that belt. So hopefully soon. You never know. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I book it right now. Nick Aldis, Dustin for the NWA championship.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been great. All right, moving on with that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and move on with Ring of Honor Pure Title Update, the title tournament, which happened obviously this past Monday. So we had two matches. We had, as we mentioned last week on episode 20, we saw the student versus teacher, David Finley versus Rocky Romero. And that was a great match between both of them. And the student won. The student advanced, so we had David Finley beating the teacher, and now at advancing, winning via pinfall. Now we'll face Jay Lethal in the second round, and that'll be great to see. I cannot wait to, looking forward to seeing Finley and Jay Lethal for that match. And also we have Matt Sydal as well. He faced against Delirious, another phenomenal match, and this time Sydal put a hell of a match on this one. Obviously Sydal advances, and now he'll be facing the octopus himself, Josh Gresham. So that's going to be another interesting in the second round. And also don't forget to tune in, ladies and gentlemen, obviously next Monday, Monday coming up, which is the final two of the first rounds of the Pure Title Tournament, which we're going to have Fred Yehi, who's making his debut in Ring of Honor, as he's going to go ahead and compete against Silas Young. And also we're going to have Kenny King. Kenny King from Los Ingobernables, of Ring of Honor. He's with Rush. And but yes, definitely he's gonna go ahead and face on against Josh Woods. So I'm looking forward to that. Stay tuned with Ring of Honor. Follow their their YouTube channel and their website and their Twitter, other social media platforms. Keep yourself updated on the Pure Title Tournament. Now moving on with that, let's go ahead and move on with the New Japan G1 Climax 30. So day 1 through day 4. So I'm going to just mention them quickly. So I'm going to mention day 1. What happened exactly? Day 1, we got Ospreay beating Yujiro. We got Taichi, who beat Jeff Cobb, unexpected. We had Suzuki beating Tomohiro Ishii. We had Jay White. Obviously, it was great to see him back in the ring. Also, Ospreay as well, beating Shingo. We had Ibushi beating Okada. And also, we had day 2 from the Block B, Juice Robinson looking great, different, obviously,
Blues
attire.
Brothers.
The Blues Brothers style, almost looking like Deuce and Domino from WWE back in the days. Remember that, Mike? Deuce and Domino?
He's rocking.
Yep.
He was doing this thing.
He was. Like he was doing that. You know, obviously he beat Yoshihashi. Also, we had Toru Yano that I was fucking pissed off. He beat Sonata. What? It pissed me off.
With tape.
With tape. By count out. And also we had.
Same way he beat Moxley last time.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. He beat Mox like that. Also in the last G1.
Just if you want to beat somebody, tape him to a young lion.
That's what Yano's something else. Also, we had Kenta beating Goto. We had Zack Sabre beating Evil. Evil can get over Zack Sabre. He always loses against him. And obviously, we had Naito, beating Tanahashi. And you see how Jushin Liger was trying to give him like the Ingobernales and Naito just flicked him off. I love that.
He gives him. See, there's that a little bit of the Steve Austin and Naito.
That's why I love it. That was night 2, ladies and gentlemen, Block B. Now back to the night 3, which was the Block A of Jeff Cobb beating Shingo, Okada beating Yujiro, Taichi beating Suzuki. I didn't expect that. And then Will Ospreay beating Tomohiro Ishii, Jay White beating Ibushi. That was expected. And that was night. And then night 4, which happened earlier, 24 hours ago, we had Block B, which is Goto beating Sonata. I was so mad about that. Toru Yano beating Tanahashi. I was like, what? Are you serious? And then Robinson, great upset for him beating Kenta. Yoshihashi losing to Evil. Finally, Evil got his win. And then and then obviously Naito beating Zack Sabre. So right now, how is looking at this moment with the points in Block A? The leaders are Taichi with 4 points, Ospreay with 4 points, Jay White with 4 points. The running leaders the runner-ups is Ibushi, Suzuki, Okada, and Jeff Cobb with 2 points each. That's on Block A. Block B, we have the leaders is Juice Robinson, Toru Yano, Naito with 4 points. And then we also have Zack Sabre, Kenta, Goto, and Evil with 2 points each. So I want to ask you, Mr. Steamboat, which one was your favorite night from night 1 to night 4? Which one was your favorite? And what do you think so far of this tournament? How do you feel so far about it?
So night 1 and night 2, I guess both the British guys so far are my favorites, Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay, just because, Zack Sabre Jr. versus the Evil's match was very, with Dick Togo in there. Zack Sabre's he's working somewhat of a baby face, and he makes those submissions so exciting to look at. I think Zack Sabre once said that doing technical wrestling, like super technical wrestling for American audiences, is like playing classical music for dogs. Is what he said.
Wow.
Wow.
He has a good point, though, honestly. But
yeah,
because his style of grappling and submission is so different.
Yeah, it's like if anything, I'd say if Zack Sabre Jr. is like the King Crimson of wrestlers. It's so complex and technical that you have to really. It's progressive rock. It's math rock. If it was wrestling, he's the math rock of wrestling. I wonder if Zack Sabre, what kind of music Zack Sabre Jr. listens to. I know he's a vegan, but and then Will Ospreay's coming in. His return. He's got more of the Ric Flair vibe. I'm the best. He's got a little bit of the fur, the big coat, looking buffer, using more power moves. That Stormbreaker instead of the Os Cutter. So he's kind of coming in with it. Some of your usual top guys are aren't cutting it. Top baby faces aren't cutting in. So I'm seeing either newer heels kind of come up a little bit more with this. Jay White came away with that win and cut a breathing. He was out of breath promos you guys are idiots and you have no idea that I'm calling you idiots because you don't know English. That was Jay White's whole promo.
I loved it. That was his promo against Bushi. That was a great one. And then he was telling the crowd, Bushi, Bushi, Bushi. No, it was just incredible. I'm glad that they're back. And for me, my favorite was night 1 and night 2 were my favorite. Will Ospreay, he did not lose a step. He has not been in the ring in months. This has been since February. Has not been in the ring in months. He's still
had a chance to recover.
He had a chance to, yeah, because he did a lot of high flying and he had a lot of nagging injuries, but at least he looks in great shape. And still got it. Like I said, my pick is still Will Ospreay. I'm hoping that he wins this tournament. But remember what I said also last week, Taichi. I didn't expect Taichi to beat Suzuki. I did not expect that. You got two Suzuki Guns members going at it with each other. Man, that was a hell of a brawl between both of them. And I love how Suzuki just went in and just fucking got into his face and like, all right, just started going with him. And like, I love that.
I guess Suzuki wants to pass the torch now.
Hell yeah, I think this could be Taichi's moment, and you never know because I think it's about it's time. He paid his dues as a young lion, and he's paid his dues, as a tag team competitor or everything. I think it's about his time that Taichi gets to win. I mean, also Robinson looks great. I'm loving how Robinson looks in the ring. I was really surprised that Kenta lost against, that he lost to Robinson. I thought Kenta was going to win because Kenta, the way how he looked was dominant, like he always have looked.
And he was my pick.
He was your pick, but you never know. I mean, he's still in the runner-up, so even though it's 2 points, but there's still a lot more to go. And
one thing I haven't said is because I've always heard reports that even though Juice Robinson's a babyface, the audience doesn't really get behind him. Like I've heard other podcasters say that, like some members of the Japanese audience just leave whenever he wrestles. You know what? That's not true because now he's turned it around is what I was going to get.
Well, because he switched. Well, right now because he switched his gimmick. But if you look at his prior matches before he switched it, he was more aggressive in the ring.
Yeah,
like that's where he changed. He now is converting into that Japanese strong style. And, because remind you that he was an NXT, and so
CJ Parker.
Yeah, CJ Parker. So, I mean, now him going to Japan and learning the style of, the strong style in Japan, now the crowd is getting more behind him because they saw him as a joke because his gimmick wasn't that great. And now it's getting there, and now he's becoming more aggressive in the ring, and he's impressing me so far.
I think that the "We Will Rock You" clap and stomp thing he got going on, like
I like it because
he was really getting that audience. He was probably one of the most over baby faces I've seen that whole weekend. He got probably like the most like creative response out of the crowd. So I think because of like COVID and all this chance for him to charge up, it's like a blessing in disguise. I think Rocky Romero is going to come out of this looking really good.
Definitely. Definitely, I agree. Stay tuned for more of that, ladies and gentlemen. We will still keep you updated every week as obviously the next couple of tournaments. The next round starts on Sunday. Obviously, they're taking a little 3-day break, so it starts on Sunday, the 27th, and on. So stay tuned as we will keep on giving you updates and where are the points, who are the point leaders and the runner-ups on G1 Climax 30. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Then when we come back, we're going to go ahead and discuss about NXT. Who won that Battle Royal? Who's going to face Io Shirai at NXT TakeOver? And who won that gauntlet, that gauntlet match? And also, who is that mysterious, upcoming on TakeOver? So we're going to give our thoughts about that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Up in the stars? Up in the stars.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Circle of Debate podcast. Thank you very much. Message from, So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and move on with NXT this past week. Obviously, we saw the the Battle Royale. See who won the number one contendership. Who's going to face the NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai, at TakeOver coming out October 4th. And we saw, obviously, we guessed it last week on episode 20, Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae looks like she took it. She won the Battle Royal, and now will be facing Io Shirai at TakeOver. And during that Battle Royal, it looks like Tegan Nox hurt herself. She tweaked her knee, Speculation is that she probably torn an ACL again. I hope not, because I feel sorry for her, man, because she tore this up on both legs, during the May Young tournament. The first one and the second one, and I hope, I'm knocking on wood, hopefully not. Hopefully it's only like a tweak. It's not bad day by day, hopefully. So let's hope for that. So I'll ask you, Mr. Hero, your thoughts on Candice LeRae winning, and do you see her taking it all the way at TakeOver?
Yeah, I think she could take it. Why not, right? Io Shirai has, I don't know, I haven't really kept up with what she's done lately with the title, but I think her and Asuka could make a good team in the main roster, get the title off of Asuka and then have them team up and go for the tag team titles. But that's long-term booking in my end. But yeah, I think Candice LeRae has a pretty good shot at getting the title.
All right. Mr. Steamboat, your thoughts about Candice LeRae, and will she take it all the way?
I think if this is like a finisher to the storyline, this will be a great way to kind of finish that trilogy. Well, not just trilogy, but that whole chapter between Io Shirai and Candice LeRae, because they have their whole history of friends and betrayal, and this would be a great ending to it, pretty much.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's going to be the ending, and Candice LeRae actually taking it all the way. Wow, that'll be an upset. And that'll be great because it's great for her career finally, she can finally win a main championship, especially in the main company,
There's a lot of story to tell with it, especially.
Oh yeah.
So I think I'll even be so bold as to say this is inevitable. That I think Candice LeRae is set up for this title, with the way this is a good storyline, So.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. All right, and let's move on with that. Let's go ahead and move on with the gauntlet. The gauntlet match, the five gauntlet match, which was the participants was Timothy Thatcher, Cameron Grimes, Kushida, Bronson Reed, and Kyle O'Reilly. And unexpectedly, Kyle O'Reilly with the wins the gauntlet match, and now will be facing Finn Balor at NXT TakeOver. Obviously, we saw Undisputed Roderick and Adam Cole came out. All right, good job, good win, and Finn Balor coming out with the belt and pointing to the Bullet Club style towards him and ending the segment. So I'll ask you, Mr. Steamboat, your thoughts about finally we're seeing Kyle O'Reilly in a singles run for the main championship.
We're gonna get to see just some of that Ring of Honor New Japan alumni wrestling. Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly, both New Japan alumni, seeing some of that style in the ring, them work that, because Kyle O'Reilly, we saw him against, Adam Cole in the Tokyo Dome. So I think we're going to see a very Tokyo Dome worthy match, Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor. They're gonna bring out the magic for this one, those two. So let's go. Let's see it.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that. Mr. Hero, your thoughts about Kyle O'Reilly?
Oh, I'll be definitely tuning in on October 4th, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll be definitely tuning into this one. I'm not too familiar with his in-ring style yet, but I look forward from what Matt just said right now. Sign me up. I'm definitely up for this match.
Believe me, because he has an MMA background, so this is like another, just that's why him and Bobby Fish are like best friends, because they both have MMA backgrounds. They competed in New Japan. They both won the New Japan, I think, the IWGP Tag Team Championship belts. I'm not sure if it was the junior or the heavyweight. I don't remember. I don't recall. But they fought also versus each other in New Japan and Ring of Honor, and also they were Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. And they all, as a single Adam Cole, that's why they put them all together, because it made a lot of sense having the Undisputed, all four of them former ROH champs, during their times. And I'm glad to see Kyle O'Reilly finally getting a chance, opportunity. And now we're going to see his in-ring skills ability more in it. So stay tuned for that, for NXT TakeOver. Also, ladies and gentlemen, that we saw a little vignette on NXT. We saw this mysterious person breaking in. It was like a male, female voice, like a robotic one. They should have been all these paper champions. I gave my blood and sweat and tears to build this brand, and now I'm coming back to take what belongs to me. And obviously, that mystery person will be making either his or her return on NXT Takeover on the 4th. I'm gonna call it right now. Bo Dallas. I'm calling it right now. It's Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is gonna come back. I think because he was one of the main ones to help the NXT brand. He was a former NXT champion himself. So I say Bo Dallas. So, Mr. Hero, your thoughts?
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best call, I feel, to have Bo Dallas in NXT.
There you go.
I had to regain my composure with that pick. He definitely needs to go back. I don't know what the main roster has for him at this point, but he has plenty to offer the NXT brand. And if a title run is in the books for him again, hey, go ahead. There was this little thing in the vignette that the NXT logo was right next to the Tap Out logo. Yep. I don't know if there was like a little hint there, or there was a reason for that. But I'm all for it. Bo Dallas, I believe that you'll be in there. Oh, he's in the phone with Vince. Mr. MGC, Mr. Steamboat, what do you think?
I think he's really negotiating with Vince there. I'm not as familiar with Bo Dallas, but anytime you get a veteran in on that business, and you get a veteran in, they know what they're doing. They know how to bring it back. I've been seeing a lot of veterans getting called back. Like Bo Dallas, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. Was on the main roster.
Yes.
It's
the B team.
Yeah. So it's been the B team.
Yeah, with Curtis Axel or whatever,
So it's
sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. When it's your mother calling, it's your mother.
No, he had to tell Triple H what's going on. That we're really cooking up here.
Who's my apologies? Who's your pick? Mike, who's your pick?
Oh, Bo Dallas.
That's him, right? Bo Dallas. Yeah. Definitely. Who do you think, Mr. Steamboat? You think it could be Bo Dallas? I think it's Bo Dallas.
I'm not as familiar with Bo Dallas, but anytime you call down a veteran, they've got a lot to offer and bring to the cooking pot. Veteran, especially people who built it, like you've said. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, he was one of them. I can't say Sammy because Sammy is, he didn't build it. We can't say Neville because he's obviously in he's AEW. We can't, which is Pop, by the way. Not Big E either. I can't say Big E either, or even I would say fucking TJ Wilson.
Wow,
that would
be amazing,
right? Imagine him coming back, Tyson Kidd. There were obviously months it wasn't that long ago, about a month ago, that there was a video of him on Twitter, him performing in a ring. Like, he looks in great shape, obviously, and looks like he still got it. He's still moving like there's no other. You never know, maybe him too. It could be either Tyson Kidd maybe going back. But yeah, how you said about the tap out, how it looked. I mean, or that little.
Was that a little hint, WWE?
Yeah, he was giving me a little hint too. Who else could it be? Okay, that's a male one, right? What about female? Who could we say as a female?
It's interesting because I feel most, if not all, the female women's champions, NXT women's champions, have gone back already. I can't think of anyone that has gone that is yet to have come back. So we'll see, ladies and gentlemen, what goes down with NXT and this mystery person in using night vision for their vignette. And why the night vision? Are they gonna have a mask or
Yeah, that's one thing I don't understand either. Like, what is it? What is it about?
You never know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have no idea who could that be. So let's go ahead and move on, ladies and gentlemen, to AEW Dynamite. Let's go ahead and move on to the great opening match, which we had Miro's, in-ring debut as he teamed up with Kip Sabian taking on the new Midnight Express. Obviously, it was a damn freaking
the new Midnight Express.
the one that it was, it's a rib, obviously, and
Yeah.
everybody thought, we're waiting on Jim to go ahead and get pissed off, and he was ready, he was ready to call Stephen P. New, and I'm like, hey, I'm like, hey, this motherfucker's trying to take my day, trying to take the day, what the fuck, that would have happened. But yes, definitely, we saw versus George and Sunny Kiss. Miro looked great in the ring. Still looks like he still got it in great shape, even though he tweaked his leg a little bit during the match. But he still, finished it off. And you saw that. You saw how automatically they switched JR's comment. I think I believe it was Excalibur when he said, "Oh wait, he's putting an accolade." No, it's game over. Good job. That's what I love Excalibur.
That's a good save.
Yeah, it's a good save because you don't want to avoid any lawsuits.
Yeah.
Why is it for WWE? Because that's WWE. They will trademark that immediately. They probably already did it. You never know. But I'll ask you, Mr. Hero, what were your thoughts about Miro's in-ring debut, and where do you see the future for him coming in AEW?
It was interesting to see him in the ring, knowing his history in WWE and knowing him as a WWE guy.
Right.
So for me, I definitely enjoyed it, and it was kind of like a scary thing to see him mess up his leg or kind of like injure it a little bit. Hopefully that it was just a little something and it didn't go into anything more, because obviously he has a lot of potential and a lot to give to the AEW roster. And overall, the match I felt could have been a little bit better or a little bit more organized, but they got a good guy with Miro, a solid guy that kept going despite anything that happened. So they know that they can rely on him regardless of what goes down, So thumbs up for me. I look forward to seeing Miro more.
Definitely. How about his entrance, though? I love how that entrance, that was amazing. I'm looking forward.
I like his new gear. It's almost kind of like a boxing shorts looking.
Yeah, definitely. Mr. Steamboat, your thoughts about Miro's in-ring debut?
I could tell that they wanted to hold back a little bit more. They didn't want to hot shot it, like give away too much of Miro at once. Like they just wanted to tease you a little bit. Hence why Sami Zayn was giving. I mean, that's
Kip Sabian.
It was Kip Sabian. Yeah, I'm tired. Sorry.
No.
So, Kip Sabian, is giving himself more of him than you're seeing Miro. But what you're seeing of Miro is the appetizer of some of the sampler platter of some it's like when you're at the mall and you're passing by that teriyaki stand and he's got the little sample on the toothpick. That's what
I like that.
That's Miro.
Yes,
You want a
sir.
little bit of Miro on that toothpick, buddy. You taste it and you're like, you know what? I think I know where I'm gonna eat today.
I'm gonna eat some Miro right now.
You're gonna have some Miro.
Did anybody notice as well, when Miro started, not to say Russo, but did anybody notice that when Miro was gonna do obviously the game over, the camel clutch, you didn't see his lips saying it looked like it was said Rusev, but it looked like it just a little bit, but I think he held himself back. So I'm glad he did, But yeah, I'm looking forward to see more Miro, and I'm glad that he found a place at his home. And he said in his comments, that he doesn't have no grudges with WWE, because if it wasn't for WWE, he would not be the star that he is. He would not be known. He would not have met Lana. And so kudos to him he's the same as Moxley. I mean, yes, they'll botch the about their storylines and how to write promos and all that, but they're good. They give their gratitude to WWE, because if it wasn't for WWE, they would not meet their wives and be as popular as who they are as of today.
Speaking of Lana, man, for the past I think 2 or 3 weeks now, they have Nia Jax and what's her partner's name?
Shayna
Ronda's
Baszler.
friend, Shayna Baszler, just completely demolished her, putting her through tables and whatnot. And I'm not a Lana hater. I think she's okay or whatever. But yeah, I don't think it looks good on WWE to be doing that, and just because Miro's on AEW now. I don't know. I just think that they're kind of having fun with it now. I don't know, but I don't think that's the best thing to do. But
No, it's not the best thing. The only thing I don't like. I mean, the
But
one
it
thing
is the best man.
that's the only. Oh my god, that's something that kind of pisses me off. Is just that best man thing. I know it's a rib towards WWE because of the whole wedding gimmick. What happened with him, Lana, and Roman Reigns, but they shouldn't. I don't know. That shouldn't have. They could have done it differently, But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like maybe he'll separate himself from Kip, and we'll see what goes from there. Or this could be your modern day Shawn Michaels, Diesel, era. You never know. That could be either way how they could go with it. So, but we'll stay tuned with that. So moving on with that, we saw Adam Page versus Evil Uno 1-on-1, and it was a great match. I'm loving Adam Page, how he looks in singles competition. Never disappoints me. Evil Uno looks great as well. Even though that Pizzeria Uno, courtesy of Jim Cornette, so I mean that's what he calls them, Pizzeria Uno. I mean, he calls them that, but good, solid match. We saw Kenny Omega. Obviously, this is going far too long. They need to switch it up already. They need to already with the stem freaking story plots. Just make him heel already. Damn it! Give him the cleaner. Give him a damn cleaner, man. It's just taking forever. So, Mr. Hero, your thoughts about it? Adam Page, and should they already move forward with Kenny Omega versus Adam Page, or what the hell's going on? What's up with that?
Yeah, yes, they should. They should. Something should have happened this week. When Kenny Omega walked out, I really got a heel sense from him. Like he had this heel look, like this kind of like a smugness to him. And it completely changed once he got into the commentating table. He's like a sudden turn right there. And I want to see full-on heel Kenny Omega, jumping Adam Page from behind and knocking him out and whatnot. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see, definitely. Mr. Steamboat, your thoughts?
It's I was on Cameo, and I actually found Pizzeria Uno on there, and I was watching some of his clips. He's such a different guy on Cameo. It's kind of fun, Well, overall, yeah. Let's see. I can hardly wait for heel Kennedy to come in. Maybe he'll have a completely different take on it, just more ruthless. They're just gonna. I have a feeling they're actually gonna find a way to be a more like punishing heel group, minus. Adam Page could be kind of the vigilante trying to stop them. They could be building up to something like that. And once again, I won't stop saying how much I love Adam Page's pants. So there we go.
There we go. So now they also move on with the TNT Championship being defended. Brody Lee versus Orange Cassidy. Oh, man, for me, it was a squash match. And I wasn't really happy about it. They should book somebody else. But a little bit funny. But then we had to return. All this, wait a minute. There's another exalted one higher than Brody Lee. And then next thing you know, Cody Rhodes, the return of Cody Rhodes, now with dyed his hair black again. He looks the same to me. He looks more aggressive. So it looks like in Brody Lee challenging him, I guess, I believe, into a dog collar match, I believe it was. So, Mr. Hero, your thoughts about the match and Cody's return?
Yeah, I feel bad for Cassidy because he went from defeating Chris Jericho 2 out of 3 times and just being ragdolled almost by Brody Lee, I definitely think they should have put somebody else there. Mm-hmm. Maybe, I don't know, I can't think of anybody, but someone that would be a little bit more closer to Cody for that return to mean more, in my opinion. But, if I was executive producer of AEW, I would put myself in an entrance like that too, Hell yeah. And as for the hair, I remember when he barely made it because he used to have black hair in WWE, then he dyed it to the blonde hair. I remember how weird he looked right away, you know. And now it's interesting that I'm so used to seeing him with the blonde hair that seeing him with black hair is just kind of odd for me. So you know, it takes some getting used to. But hair aside, I'm glad to see Cody back. I do, I do think that it's a little too soon, just a little bit, tad bit. Maybe a couple more weeks should have passed, you know. But whatever, it's good to have him back, and let's see how this dog collar match goes.
Definitely, Mr. Steamboat. Your thoughts?
I love the dog collar match concept because I'm getting flashbacks to Roddy Piper versus Greg Valentine.
Oh,
And I know both Brody and Cody have done their homework on that match. They've seen that match a bunch of times. So they might even go try it. They're going to attempt to. It's hard to top that, but they're going to attempt to. I have a feeling there's going to be blood.
And it was the same with Ken Patera and Pat Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that one, right? That was the bloodiest fucking match compared to Valentine and Roddy Piper.
They're gonna want to do this. Now back to Cassidy versus Brody Lee. Here's what I think they should have done. Instead of taking Cassidy out of the equation completely, Cassidy could go the distance with Brody Lee, but instead of like him having to eat the pin or take the loss, they should have just like ended the match in some kind of DQ. You know, somebody interfered. Maybe Cody could have interfered, and then that way, Orange Cassidy doesn't have to eat that pin, and maybe they could extend the feud. Maybe have a triple threat down the line, and kind of keep Orange Cassidy in some kind of championship picture. Just because, like I said, he's the Tetsuya Naito of AEW. You know, in my eyes. So I want them to keep him in that championship picture. You know, we could get a great match out of Orange Cassidy versus Cody in the near future because that's he's like a sleeping. Some people compare him to a drunken master. He's a sleeping giant. You know, he's got some great matches in him. So
yeah, definitely. And then also we had the women's tag team match. We had Diamante and Belize versus Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. Before we move on, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I guess there was a match between Ibeliz and Thunder Rosa. There was a lot of speculations. Rumor your windows. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we're only giving our opinions. Their match, what they had, I believe, before, it was a stiff match. And it was like they really did not like each other. And it was real. It was real punches. It was real, like, stiff moves. And I guess there was a little heated confrontation backstage between both of them, between Ibeliz and Thunder Rosa. So don't know more details of it, but that I know of that it was very stiff on both sides. And by the looks of it, this tag team match, it didn't look stiff to me. It looked great. I love the fact that they're using Thunder Rosa, and I love Thunder Rosa a lot. And hopefully one day, which I mean, I don't believe Billy Corbin will let her go because that's her number one girl right now for the NWA, and she's promoting obviously with the belt, promoting the promotion very well in another promotion. So I will continue with that. But your thoughts about the match, Mr. Hero, and where do you see so far? Do you see a future AEW women's tag team belts coming along the way soon, or what do you see going on here?
I feel the tag team titles, the women's tag team titles, still has a ways to go in AEW. So I feel like that's probably gonna be held off until maybe 2021. My prediction.
Yeah.
But Thunder Rosa, man, I see that she's been going all over the place. You know, the only place that's left for her to go to is NXT, I think. You know, which probably will not happen. But you know, I had first heard about her when she came into AEW, and I've researched more about her, and then she's been going to many different places and putting some quality matches, I feel, you know, and so definitely she's up there with some of the top women in wrestling right now. Oh, yeah. So, you know, and as a champion, she's going all over the place. She doesn't necessarily need to do that. She's doing it as champion. So that's pretty cool, especially for a woman to do, I feel. But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as this match, I didn't get any sense of stiffness or like any like bad juju between the competitors or anything like that. So I don't know. I heard the rumors, but no confirmation here.
That's right. Yeah, and don't forget, I mean, Thunder Rosa is only 5 years into as a pro wrestler,
Wow.
and she accomplished a lot within those 5 years.
Yeah.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to watch United Wrestling Network. Watch that match between her and Priscilla Kelly. I heard they stole that the show, so I need to see it myself too. I have not seen it, but I'm hearing around social media platforms that was a phenomenal match between Priscilla Kelly and Thunder Rosa for the NWA Championship, which Thunder Rosa retained. But I want to see that match, and I heard it was great. So we'll give you our opinions about that. So, Mr. Steamboat, your thoughts about this women's tag team, and where do you see this going more forward with this?
I gotta say, with Thunder Rosa's background, I won't stop bringing it up until I can find this match, Thunder Rosa versus Maki Ito. I gotta find it. It's Hikaru Shida. We get to see some of her work into her professionalism come in. I think one of my favorite things was the intro to the match when everybody bringing out their national flags, flag of Puerto Rico, flag of Cuba, flag of like the Mexican-American flag with a little bit of green in it. And I kind of wish Hikaru Shida also had the rising sun too as well, so we could see it's like a United Nations battle. I kind of love seeing, all the different national flags. There was, I forgot the name of the one wrestler, the Brazilian girl wrestler.
Oh, yeah, Tay Conti. Tay Conti.
And then she has, the Brazilian flag. It's like I want to see Kenny Omega with the Canadian flag at some point, But in addition to that, it was a pretty good match. As for the tag team, I think the women's tag team title should come sooner than later, mainly just because if there's so many women on the AEW roster, you should have more things for them to do, whether on Dark or on the main show.
Well, here you go. They should do like how back in the days, like TNA's did the X Cup. They should do a Women X Cup. Obviously, everybody representing their home country, singles competitors from, they should do that. And from there, you can, evaluate of who you want to keep moving forward. But they should do something like that. You see? Call us, man. You see, you got Tony Khan. Call us. We're here.
Lantano telefono. Phone.
You could do another tournament like that for the women's and build it up. I mean, why not? We need to see something like that, We haven't seen it in the WWE. The only thing they've done is a Mae Young Classic, but that's not representing the world, they're representing their own countries, but, it's not like a FIFA World Cup. It's not like that. It's just they can make this as a pro wrestling World Cup, like how I would say if you guys remember, I think you remember, Matt, most likely when it was Water Culture. When they owned the promotion, they did the biggest tournament of all time. I think they had like 96 competitors all over the world.
I think I might have heard of that. I should watch it.
You should watch it, and you're watching and man, they booked Del Rio, Pentagon, Zack Zombre, Will Ospreay.
They're going to get a lot of international eyes on the product.
There was a lot of it was like an international cup where they had. They could do the same thing with AEW. They could definitely do that with the women's roster, and help develop that women's roster more. The good thing is that these 4 women are developing more and more and more often. We'll see the upcoming with Anna Jay. We see the upcoming with Tay Conti. We'll see Abaddon, another one. There's so many in that roster that get it little by little. Bring in Shaw Guerrero already, man. How we said last week. Yeah. Why not bring her up there and have her mom, manager too, alongside with Nyla Rose? That'll be another great, tag team right there.
Bring Tessa.
But then from there, bring Tessa. Tessa's still available, free agent. Why not?
Her dad's there, so
exactly. Why not? Bring Tessa. Will bring a lot. I think Tessa will help the AEW Women's Championship. Not saying that Sheeta is not a great champion, but I'm saying why not? That'll be another great match to see. You never know.
I think you mentioned this in another episode, or I don't know if we talked about this on air. You talked about Eddie Guerrero's daughter.
Yeah, I just mentioned him right now, Eddie Shaw Guerrero.
Yeah,
So,
both
yeah.
of them. So both of them together, just like if you ladies are listening, join your parents. You know, Tessa, your dad's here. Shaw Guerrero, your mom's here. You know, be with your parents. You know, and get a good paycheck and have your mom or dad nearby.
Yeah, I mean they're both
Yeah.
they're both knowledgeable in the business, anyways. I mean,
And you
Shaw
got
has.
more freedom in AEW. It's all
Mhm.
win.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you get to be with your family and you get freedom of creativity and you
Exactly.
get good pay.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's get
Good pay and family.
Yeah. Let's see. Move on. Let's go ahead and move on with the main event as we moved on with John Moxley versus Eddie Kingston for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, as we mentioned on the Pro Wrestling earlier, there was a lot of outbreaks. A lot of changes happened quickly because it was supposed to be the six-man tag. It was supposed to be Will Hobbs, Darby Allin, Moxley versus Lance, Brian Cage, and as Ricky Starks. But obviously what happened, Cage had nagging injuries, so he didn't test positive. Lance Archer tested positive. So that's why they had to switch to flip automatically. So they put Eddie Kingston as the number 2. Remember when he said last week, I was never eliminated from that Battle Royal. So that's what they give it to Eddie Kingston, and it makes sense. Great job, whoever did that storyline. Great pickup on that to change it right away. So once again, that match, heavy brawling. And I love Eddie Kingston, man. I mean, I love his work. You know, yeah. I love his work. We saw the ending of the match. Obviously, Moxley retained. We saw, Lucha Brothers coming out to help, Eddie Kingston. And then, obviously, Will Hobbs try to come in and help, but he got beat up too. And then we had to see Darby Allin returning. But Ricky Starks came out of nowhere and bam, kicked his ass too. So they left the champs and his 2 partners laid on the ground. So, Mr. Hero, your thoughts about the main event?
Ups to AEW, my goodness. See, okay. I saw the episode from start to finish, and it was almost seamless, like if they had this planned all along, and speedy recovery to Lance Archer, but yeah, they had that segment at the start with Kingston and Moxley, and right in that, with the superb ability to cut a promo by Kingston, got me interested in the main event, and it got me ready for it. And once it got there, man, those chops, ooh, those, I would not want to be on the receiving end of one of those.
Oh, no.
And like not just on the chest, but on the face too. There was this one chop or slap or whatever. I can't remember if it was Moxley or Kingston, but I saw like sweat fly off their face of how hard that thing was, man. So yeah, this kind of shows the ability that AEW has to switch things on the fly and make it work. I can only wonder how WWE, even on their flagship show like Raw, would be able to react on something like that and maybe not deliver as quality as they probably would have planned. But AEW knocked it out of the park with what they had, in my opinion. And I will say that Kingston looked pretty good. I would say great, especially at the end, having, Moxley down on the floor. It's almost as if he was number 1 contender and he was the one that's coming after the title, So Lance Archer, he's going to have to climb up again, I feel, to get that title shot. But yeah, Kingston, I feel that from what I've heard, he's never gotten a world championship match before. So he really, he, how they say sink or swim? He swam in this situation. So 2 thumbs up.
Well, I would say he's won a world title before, but I don't remember what promotion that he won it from. But like a main to be at this type of main event level, no, he's never been there before. So I'm kudos to Eddie Kingston, which by the way he was added towards. Now it's going to be a triple threat match between Lance, Eddie, and Moxley. I believe for October 7th, I believe it is, for the 1-year anniversary of Chris Jericho. I think the 30 years, the 1-year anniversary, I believe, of Dynamite's debut, and the 30th anniversary of Chris Jericho's pro wrestling career. So looking forward to seeing that. So Mr. Steamboat, I'll ask you your thoughts about the main event.
So I gotta say this about Eddie Kingston. I want to see him in a singles match with everyone on the roster. My reason being, as long as he gets to cut a promo, this is a psychological thing. This is the psychology of wrestling. If you see the anger in his eyes in the promo, and you see that same anger in his eyes in the match, you know why he's angry at his opponent, and you could feel you're sucked into the story of why you're not going, like when you're in like some tournament and they're strangers to each other, you don't know why it's just like a sports match, whatever. I'm like, okay, I understand it's a sports presentation, but like if there's no story there for why they don't hate each other, I'm not as emotionally invested in the match. That's why I'm so happy like they gave Eddie that time to cut that short promo on Moxley. It's like you came from the land of sports entertainers. I'm gonna kick your ass. I don't care who you are. Just that's
Yes.
If he gets to do that.
I love it.
If he gets to do that with everybody on the roster before their match, he makes every single match worthwhile, worth watching, no matter who it is. Kenny Omega, Adam Page, JK, anybody. And as long as he's mad at them, as long as he's angry, as long as he's screaming at them, as long as he shows that he's determined to hurt his opponent, he doesn't have to have the nicest body. He doesn't have to have the fanciest moves. He just needs to be the angriest and most aggressive, and then you're gonna feel it in your butt. It's like Jeff talked about, like you're watching a movie. You're watching him get even. You're watching Eddie get his revenge. You're sucked into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. Cannot wait. I mean, these Wednesday Night Wars are, happening again. Obviously, AEW's taking it, even though they didn't, win by. I mean, they won by a lot, obviously, but
Eddie is a future big star.
Eddie Kingston, it is a future big star as a performer or as a manager. He has look. He has the looks, the charisma, obviously the brawl abilities in the ring. So definitely, I'm looking forward to see more of Eddie Kingston in AEW, and you never know, get a potential title run maybe, or a potential TNT championship run. That'll be another deal. That'll be great, even though he lost to Cody Rhodes, but the heck with it.
Put Eddie against any of the guys who are good with promos, you're going to get a really rich storyline. Eddie versus Jericho, Eddie versus Cody, again, but except with
MJF.
more promos and more storylines. Eddie versus MJF. All those are going to be very like cinematic, very like angry, very emotional feuds.
Yeah. Definitely. Hopefully not. So let's go ahead and move on now with WWE Clash of Champions, which is happening this Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see. I'm going to count the matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 matches on the card. Am I looking forward to it? I'm only looking forward to one match. But I'm going to go ahead and name down the list of the card. Obviously, we have the main event, which is the ambulance match between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Obviously, we have the kickoff show, which is Asuka defending the Raw Women's Championship against Selena Vega, which she beat Mickie James on Raw to the more contendership. So, that was unexpected. Poor Mickie James. I think you should ask for your release. Go to AEW. Fuck them. They're burying you. And then also we got the WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. I'm looking forward to seeing that because I heard there's rumor in your windows. They're saying that Roman Reigns is going to change his theme and change his look. May not have a shirt. I don't know. There's a lot of shit that he's saying, but we don't know. It could be all bullshit. Oh, yes, there's a SmackDown Championship. The Women's SmackDown Championship being defended. Bayley versus Nikki Cross. I believe Sasha came back last week, vowed to get revenge and wants to go get the SmackDown Women's Championship. Hopefully Bayley retains so we can see that coming. You never know. We got the Women's Tag Team Champion being defended. Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler versus the Riot Squad, Ruby Riott, and, I can't believe I forgot her. Yeah, the other one. I forgot her. I can't believe I forgot her name. I just had a brain fart right now. Liv Morgan, thank you. My apologies, Liv.
Sorry.
And then also we have the SmackDown Tag Team Champion being defended. Cesaro Nakamura versus the Lucha House Party. And then we have the Raw Tag Team title being defended. Street Profits versus Garza and Andrade. And also we have the U.S. Championship which is Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews. And now we have the Intercontinental title in a triple threat ladder match. That's the one I want to see, which is Sami Zayn, Jeff Hardy, and AJ Styles. So, gentlemen, which one are you looking forward to, or even looking forward to this pay-per-view? And what do you think of the card so far? So, Mr. Hero, I'll go with you. What are your thoughts about this class of champions?
I don't know, but I feel that J Mania is about to run wild on us right now because because Jay, hey, how cool of a swerve would it be if that were to happen? I mean, as for the pay-per-view itself, here and there, that triple threat ladder match, which I had forgotten that it was on this card. I'm looking forward to that one because of the talent that's involved, and it's the Intercontinental Championship, right? So yeah, I'm looking forward to the ladder match and for J Mania.
Jey Uso, wow, pull up an upset. That'll be funny as hell if he does. I'm not disrespecting him, but wow, imagine he wins it.
Right.
That'll be something. But I'm looking forward to seeing. Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to seeing the ladder match. That's my number one that I want to see, and I want to see obviously Roman to see if he's gonna debut a new song and new look. I want to see that. Let's see how that's gonna go. And obviously I want to see. Let's see how this ending is going to happen between McIntyre and Orton. I want to see how this is going to end already because it's good. I don't know. I think it's going to go longer, but yeah, it's going to go boring as hell. Disappointment. But okay, Mr. Steve Mode, I'll ask you, which one are you looking forward to see?
The one with AJ Styles in it, but I'm also curious. I think you kind of got me interested in the whole repackaged Roman Reigns with the new theme and the new look. Because whenever there's a repackaging, it's like, we saw the Fiend and how like fascinating that was. So I'm hoping to kind of see a little bit of Paul Heyman work his magic, with Roman, but AJ who work his magic, but yeah, that's what I got on there so far. Although you kind of got me, Mike, you got me curious about J Mania.
Hashtag J Mania.
J Mania. Uso-mania.
Copyright pending.
There's so much that we could do and help this product out. J Mania.
Plantano, call
so
me on my banana
so
phone.
much shit you could call, man. It just right now, how it's looking, ladies and gentlemen, is WWE is disappointing really bad.
I'll make the call. Hey, Vincenzo. Por una cabeza.
There it is. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, exactly. I was waiting for that. There's so much disappointment they're doing, but hopefully they can fix it up. Let's hope so, but we'll find out this Sunday. So, once again, we appreciate you guys for tuning in for episode 21, 21. And don't forget, we're going to have a special interview with a former alumni from Revolution Pro up here in Southern California. His name is Chris Kennedy. You will see that in our YouTube channel. Tune in to that interview because he's going to give basically his stories how he began in the business at the age he started at an early age. His stories, knowing, seeing Samoa Joe, Excalibur, and a lot of name drops that are now obviously big time talent right now in the industry. So he's a former professional wrestler himself, hoping to get in a ring and a referee as well. He's going to give you his stories, his great stories that he had. So stay tuned for that. You will see that on Saturday. You will see that. And also, don't forget to stay tuned on Sunday. We're going to have our top 5 picks for the week, which it will be our top 5 who should have been world champion. Not WWE, it could be anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. But it could be, world champions. And then the following Sunday, we're going to have our top 5. We will have our top 5 managers of all time. So stay tuned for that. And also, don't forget to stay tuned in our weekly episodes every Friday. Episode 22 next week. We'll give you, what's going on with, the update with the Ring of Honor Pure Title Tournament. We'll give you the update on the G1 Climax, who's up there so far. We will keep you updated with that. Our thoughts about Clash of Champions. And, obviously Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AEW. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel right there at the end of the video. And also don't forget to follow our social media platforms. Will be on the description below, and also our website, which will be doing more content pretty soon. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll be doing a review of Clash of Champions.
Exactly. You want to read his, read Mr. Great American Heroes review, but more content to come to the website. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, this is the Devious One Ivan C, also alongside with Mr. MGC, Mr. Kellerman, Seidels, Buddies, Murphys, the Matt Worlds, Mr. Una Cabeza.
Me duele la cabeza.
Mr. Matthew Steamboat with his banana phone. And also we have the man with the 12-inch pythons, the one who's going to save you from this stupid-ass piece of shit of Retribution. And that is the great American hero himself, Mike Lopez, who will save you from that. Saying to you guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Salud. And we'll see you next week and Saturday and Sunday. Good night, everybody.